Godlike Burger reminds me of two things mashed together, the game Diner Dash and the original idea for the show Bob's Burgers, though, as far as I know, the game is affiliated with neither of those things and didn't cite them as inspiration. You play as a chef who serves customers burgers made out of other customers. Cannibalism is the norm, but your customers are unaware that this is the name of the game. This is why you have to clean up bodies and blood quickly, because murder and cannibalism aren't going to be approved of by your customers. If you garner too much suspicion, then you'll either be attacked or the police will arrive. Either of these things could result in your career abruptly ending. The gameplay is greatly harmed by lag, which becomes a worse problem as the game's played through. This is because as time passes in the game gains complexity. The lag issue becomes more troublesome as the player needs to handle more and more. For example, some aliens can only die by traps. Here, I should have been able to kill this little bugger. They show up after a few days and rob you of cooking supplies if you don't go near one and press F to kick them. When you kick them, they'll run away. They can be killed to create body parts, but they're invulnerable to cleaver hits, meaning that only traps can kill them. You can buy traps at the end of a workday if you have enough money. An alien also has to be in range to activate them, or they can be set on a motion sensor if you have the money to buy the motion sensor too. There are other things you can buy for the traps as well, such as auto corpse cleanup. Knowing that they're invulnerable to cleaver hits, I waited until I could get this alien with a trap. I happened to have one near the exit he was heading for, but the exit is also an entrance for customers. So I carefully timed the kill so that I'd have enough time to do it, clean up the alien's body before another alien walked over, and get away scot-free. However, the game lagged. Lag meant that I couldn't hit F to clean up the little alien's body because the trap was blocking it. I could open up the trap menu, but there was no point to that. I didn't need that menu and it wouldn't go away. The trap had already been activated and I didn't need that menu anymore. You can also clearly see that the little alien is no longer. Yet, lag meant that I couldn't hit F to clean up the body until an alien customer had already walked over, seen it, and become aggressive. The customer, knowing what was going on, attacked me, and that caused a much bigger scene, as well as HP loss, which killed my chef, but the whole situation was an unnecessary conundrum. If I didn't clean up the body, other customers would see, and I'd be in trouble. Remember, this happened right by an exit/entrance. Yet, if I fought this guy, then my HP was so low that my chef was likely gonna die anyway, and then I'd have two bodies to handle next to a travel point. So it was a major mess, and one that shouldn't have happened. If not for the lag, then the little guy's body would have been cleaned up quickly and the situation would not have escalated. And as I mentioned, as the gameplay progresses, more difficulty is added. There are also critics, protesters, which similarly need to be kicked, clogged toilets, which need to be kicked to work, more complex orders to fill, and so on. This means that gameplay needs to be tight, or else added complexity makes this lag a terrible bug, and possibly a frequently game-ending one. Lag doesn't just affect body cleanup either, lag happens elsewhere too. If you kick an NPC to make them leave while time is slowed, then lag will happen and you'll kick the air repeatedly even if you only hit the button once. This kicking will delay you further in a system where everything is timed, which is a ridiculous bug when you're already trying to slow down time. Also, if you get in a fight, then time will instantly speed back up. Combined, these two things mean that using the timer to slow down time is a pretty weak feature, which often won't work as expected. Meanwhile, the map is large. You have to manage the kitchen, the dining room, the back room, the washroom, 2 toilets, the VIP room, and the parking lot, which makes micromanaging a bunch of aliens and their meal orders a bit of a chore already. Your attention needs to be scattered in a rather unthematic sort of way. Comparatively, in Diner Dash, the map was tiny. Diner Dash was a boring-ish game wherein you played a waitress instead of a cook. But this game's similar in both its time management and setting, and in that one the map design was better. A condensed map makes the players focus less on running around in a pointless, scattered sort of way, and more on being a chef, waitress, or whatever else. So I think that the map design in Godlike Burger doesn't support its concept as well as a much older game supported its own similar concept of serving customers to both upgrade the shop and advance to harder maps. In Godlike Burger you can set traps, so it's clear that eventually you won't have to run around as much, but having traps everywhere just seems a bit overkill. The look and the sound. The look is a cartoonish 3D look, but to me its shading and coloring looked a bit off. Meanwhile, the sound seemed both generic and bland. I didn't find anything special about it. If I were going to keep playing it, then I'd probably just want to mute the music and put on my own. Time and cost. This game cost $20 normally. I got it for free on Epic Games during a giveaway, and I decided to give it a try since I got it for free, but it definitely didn't feel like a $20 title to me. And while, as is usual, some people love this game and some people hate it, I did notice others thinking it was overpriced when I started skimming opinions. I suggest that if if you didn't get it for free already and you really want it, then to at least wait for a sale, because otherwise I think its full price is a low value compared to other games' pricing. There are many titles, which I think are better and do more, that you can get for $20 or less. There's not much data on how long it takes to beat it though. How Long to Beat only had 2 answers, and that's usually my go-to. Other sites had 1 or 2 answers, but estimates range from 10 to 16 hours. I think that's a bit long either way, and that it'd feel repetitive after 6 or so, even without the lag issue. Perhaps this is why it has so little data on completion, too. Final thoughts. I think it feels like a worse version of Diner Dash that tried to have dark humor, but didn't utilize its own concepts in a fun, likable sort of way. Instead of a playful vibe, its story feels like a backdrop at best, and like it could have been more. I think it could have been an engaging tale with comedic overtones, but instead, it just feels like a mediocre game. Plus, I think mediocrity causes design problems to stand out terribly, because patience and love aren't there when problems occur. This game doesn't dodge that. After the little robber couldn't be cleaned up in a timely manner due to a time lag bug, and my chef died as another alien went, body, I will kill you now, I decided that I was done with the game. There just wasn't enough there to interest me further after that. So there's nothing worth mentioning or rating when it comes to either story or characters. Meanwhile, the look and the sound, I'd say they're about a 4 due to how bland and unlikable they are. But that means it'd get an unbalanced overall average of 3 if I rated it that way, and I think that's not accurate because its gameplay flaws, combined with its bland nature, become more and more frustrating as it's played. The idea of playing it for 10 hours or more sounds like an increasingly frustrating experience to me, and not a fun one. I'd rather play Diner Dash, which came out a very long time ago, and in my opinion, that game, Diner Dash, wasn't exactly a pièce de résistance either. It's just similar, yet better than this.